Alright folks, it's no secret that I'm enjoying XDefiant. It's the game right now that's scratching that arcade shooter itch for me, and it gets a good bunch of things right that keeps me coming back to the game on a very regular basis. But man, is it far from perfect. And as we approach the 2 months since launch milestone of the game, I think we need to take a bit of a stock take. G'day there once again viewers, your mate Kamikaze78 here, and today, I think it is long overdue that we talk about some of the problems that XDefiant needs to address, and soon. So, I've put a bit of a list in front of me here today, guys, that I want to go over, and I will admit that there's no particular order behind what we're going to talk about today, save maybe what I've had to deal with most recently and what is freshest in my mind as a result, but I admit every issue we talk about today is a big one. There's no insinuation of priority or anything like that, just in case that comes up in the comment section down below. I did want to firstly touch on the ranked playlist of the game here though, guys, because just last night I had this little moment over on our Twitch stream. For those who do not know me, guys, you have to bear with me. We are in the middle of a sweaty, I may be about to put my fist through my monitor. It's fine. Fucking so frustrating. Right there. Like, I imagine... I lost RP. I lost RP from that. Are you kidding me, Ubisoft? Yep, that was me disconnecting from a match where I was the top scoring player on my team in a disadvantaged 3v4 situation that we actually had a chance of winning, and I got disconnected with no way of getting back into the match. And yes, I lost RP as a result of that. As a side note, if you do want to catch these live streams as they're happening, check out the first link in the description down below, twitch.tv/kamikaze. I'd love to have you guys there. Also, yes, I know, laugh it up in the comments, Bronze 1 ranked player here molding about something. I know some of you will definitely get a giggle out of that in the comments down below, but it's shit like that that'll be keeping me as far away from ranked as possible for the time being. I was personally very excited for XDefiant's ranked game mode, I'm someone who enjoys the core gameplay loop of XDefiant. I play the game at a semi-decent level, and I enjoy getting my sweat on in the game because 9 times out of 10, it feels rewarding to do so. But the fact that we have a ranked mode in 2024 that doesn't have a reconnect button to combat accidental disconnects and just straight up punishes you when the server hamster decides to cark it, nah dog, I'm good. It just feels like such an oversight after we went through so many games and their ranked playlists that have made these mistakes in the past and have since corrected them, and it's sort of been the industry norm to correct said mistakes. It just kind of feels like we've learnt nothing here. So as much as I am keen to get my rank and keep pushing up that ladder a little bit in XDefiant, busting my ass for a win only to never know whether or not I'll actually make it through the entire match and then get, punished for not making it through, really disappointing. Ubisoft needs to get this together ASAP in my view, because I know it's turning a lot of players who would otherwise be keen on the mode away from it for the long run. But outside the ranked playlist, there are issues that continue to fester away at the core of this game, some of which have become clearer over time as people have been, testing more weapons and ability combinations, and other problems are simply technical dramas that I really would have hoped would have been fixed by now. For example, the game's netcode. It was an issue in the beta, and while it's quote-unquote less of an issue now, there have been some nights as of late where it's really tested my limits as far as patience goes. I can personally look past a lot of the other issues in this game if we simply got the netcode to a point where I can reliably understand when and where I need to be in cover on the enemy screen. And I get it, the game has bullet penetration on some surfaces, but that ain't the problem here, and it's very bloody hard to cultivate a quote-unquote competitive gameplay environment where you can't even make an informed decision about, maybe I should move to cover now, because the game just simply doesn't let you, and that needs to be addressed fast. Every day the netcode runs rampant in killing players around corners or doing damage compression on a salvo of rounds heading down range. It just takes any degree of goodwill the game builds up and strips it away from the player immediately, and that really sucks. And there's even moments where I can feel myself abusing the crappy netcode, The odd occasion where I've somehow reloaded those heat-seeking, curving bullets into my magazine and all that fun stuff, and I get a kill on a dude that on my screen was starting to turn the corner, but apparently the game's says, no, you got that kill, don't worry boo, I got you. It just makes the game feel cheap by comparison to what it could be, which is a shame because it's the biggest thing holding back the game in my opinion. Again, I'm quite surprised that it hasn't actually been sorted out by now, and it kind of suggests to me, from my very limited understanding of game dev, I admit, that the Snowdrop engine, which was originally designed for The Division, a sort of RPG MMO game, is struggling with the fast-paced FPS environment that XDefiant brings to the table. It's just a hunch from me if anything, but if that were the case, it would sure as hell explain a lot about this game. But if we take a moment to assume that all the technical dramas with the game get sorted at the end of the day, that still leaves us with a couple of big underlying problems. For one, the balance of the game. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I'm about one bad day away from being trapped by spider bots or railed without consent by a team of enemy snipers before I check myself in for maximum security rehab, because that shit is enough to push a man to his limits. Look, I elaborate and joke here, but you get the picture. The balance around a few of the elements in this game is extremely whack and affords some abilities and weapons far too much influence over the game versus, the risk of actually using them. And just to speak to the two in mention that we named and shamed there, the spider bot for one. If you're gonna have it move that fast when it's on the ground and give it that small a profile while not being able to shoot it off your face once it does actually get to you, then it quite simply needs to be a one-shot kill while it is on the ground. Why am I dumping half a magazine into the scraggly little fuck that looks like it should fall apart as soon as one round goes through it? It just doesn't make sense. It's really as simple as that, but I also personally think that we need a way to deal with it while it is latched onto you as well, because there are times where I just simply don't know where the spider bots are and they'll just sneak up on me and take me out immediately. The audio of those spider bots doesn't always seem to be activating based on my experience. And then there's the snipers, and look, I'm sorry to my sniper players out there that may be watching this video, but it is still far too consistent in a game balanced around the time to kill averages for the automatic weapons. I'm sorry, but that's just the fact right there. Being able to point and click and delete someone who is battling to kill you in under half a second with the time to kills afforded in this game simply doesn't add up. And you being able to take a TAC 50 and basically point anywhere on a target's torso, being lower or upper, and still guarantee yourself a kill is not balanced in a game like this. The risk and the reward of both of these items needs to be reeled in something fierce. Sniping in particular, as I said before, need their one-shot kill zones limited greatly, or at least have it so that their handling stats are far less forgiving if said sniper player is caught out. I know that the flinch nerfs have made an impact, but it still feels egregious as shit to this day. Which leads us on to my final overarching concern for XDefiant at this time, guys. And before I get into this, I want to preface it by saying that not every game needs to demand your attention 24/7. Not every game should be competing to capture a player's attention as a main game per se, because some games are just better off being fun games that you log into every once in a while, romping around with your mates, and then calling it a day as you move on to the next hotness. That in of itself is fine, and while XDefiant will be a game that cultivates, a core community that play it daily, I'm not expecting it to be, the next hotness or the next greatness that is Call of Duty that, casual players will log into daily as well. It's just not the kind of game for that. But I will say, even considering that, I'm concerned that the game just doesn't quite have the staying power to even compete at a casual level in this market sometimes. We're 2 weeks into Season 1 here, which is a 3-month-long season in which we're still going to get mid-season drops of a new game mode or two, as well as 2 brand new maps. But overall, the game has been out for a couple of months now, and in that time, we've seen 4 new weapons come to the game, 2 of which are locked behind pretty high levels in the current Battle Pass, meaning most players in the community won't have access to them yet, and 1 new map. The pace of content here is not crazy, neither is the pace of meaningful changes that are coming to the game that would keep the community interested. The ranked mode was meant to help with this, but then ranked mode kind of came out half broken and not working alongside server crashes. We've also got balance updates that feel like they're taking a really long time to sort out and overall make the game feel incredibly unbalanced at times for maybe longer than it should. Oh, and yes, of course, I forgot to mention we've got a new faction to work with here too, so I won't discount that either. But the point being, every XDefiant season that's been announced so far is going to feature the same amount of content that we've gotten so far. And while there is definitely something to be said for quality over quantity, I am somewhat concerned here that the quantity on offer won't be enough to capture the attention of even the core community for the long run. The game materially for me feels the same as it did at launch, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because XDefiant at launch and the core of its gameplay is good enough. It just feels as though the injection of content to keep things fresh hasn't really kept up with that core gameplay and in, you know, spicing up the gameplay in a way. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out in the long run here. I don't envisage that there'll be any capacity to expand the content offering that'll be coming per season here. So I guess we're just gonna have to suck it and see how it goes for the long run, but that's definitely a concern I have with XDefiant at the moment too. Again, don't get me wrong guys, I am still very much enjoying XDefiant. These are just some concerns I wanted to get off my chest about the game and its current position in the market. I hope it's got a bright future ahead of it because I think the core gameplay that's on offer here is, you know, enough to warrant a bright future. But there are some core issues that I think needed to be discussed and need to be addressed as soon as bloody possible to ensure that that bright future is possible. But guys, if you enjoyed today's video and my ramblings, then feel free to hit that like button as it does go a long way to supporting the channel, and consider subscribing if you are new and enjoying the content, guys. We've had a lot of new people come through the channel as of late, so it's been great welcoming you all to the community, and I hope to welcome many more of you in the future. Leave your comments down below on your thoughts of the state of XDefiant and whether or not you think these issues are as big as I make them out to be. And until next time, guys, I hope you all have a good one. Peace out, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.